Are you sick of feeling like your voice doesn't matter? Like, no matter how many times you say it, no one listens. Whether it's your boss in the office, your partner at home, or even your kiddos who suddenly develop selective hearing. Today, we're going to talk about something that can truly change your life: boundaries. This episode is for the woman who is tired of feeling overlooked, stretched thin, and disrespected. It's for the mama who knows she was made for more than running on fumes, but keeps finding herself last on her own priority list. By the end of today, you're not just going to understand boundaries, you're going to know exactly how to set them, how to communicate them, and actually stick to them so you can finally be heard, valued, and respected at work and at home. So go grab your coffee, mama. Take a deep breath and let's reset together. If you're tired of burnout, hustle culture, and mom guilt, and you're craving boundaries, balance, and clarity, you're in the right place. Welcome to Midlife Mom Reset. I'm Shannon Howard, a loving wife, mom of teens, coach, and burnout survivor, here to help you trade the overwhelm for peace and purpose. Around here, we talk burnout recovery, work-life balance, and the truth about perimenopause. Because midlife isn't a crisis, it's your comeback. Let's dive in. Before we dive in, I want to remind you I created a free app called Clarity Core. Inside, you'll find tools to help you set boundaries, reset from burnout, and connect with other women who are walking the same road you are. You don't have to do this all alone. Go grab it in your app store today. It's free and it's your first step to breaking this cycle. I'll never forget this season when I realized I had no boundaries. I'd be in meetings that dragged on endlessly while my kids were at practice or performing in games. And I missed so much. One night, my daughter was scanning the bleachers during her volleyball match, and I wasn't there. I came rushing in at the end, laptop still buzzing in my bag, and she caught my eye with a look I'll never forget. It wasn't anger. It was pure disappointment. And that broke me in a way that exhaustion never could. And at work, I was always the dependable one, the one who got it done, the one who piled more and more things on. Everyone piled things on me because they knew I would never say no. It looked like praise on the outside, but on the inside, it was chains. The truth is, when you don't set boundaries, you're actually teaching people that your time and your energy are free for the taking. And I'm sorry to break it to you, but that's not leadership. That is self-abandonment. So I had to unlearn that saying yes to everything wasn't noble. It was actually why I felt invisible, why I was disrespected, and why I felt resentful. And mama, I don't want that for you. Today, I am going to walk you through the exact steps that I took to start setting boundaries that finally got me heard. You need to recognize where respect is missing. What? Notice where you feel dismissed, ignored, or constantly overextended. And I need to remind you, you can't fix what you can't see. So this week, I want you to write down the exact moments that you feel or felt disrespected. For example, you might realize that your work colleagues interrupted you constantly in a meeting. At home, maybe your kids ignored chores that you had repeated 10 times. Now, both of these issues, they point to the same root problem. There are no clear boundaries. So grab your journal out, and I want you to reflect on this. Where are you tolerating behavior that makes you feel small? And then, what is the cost of letting this continue? We're also going to get clear on your non-negotiables. You need to decide what's sacred. What times are sacred? What are your non-negotiables? Are they family dinners? Are they rest? Are they your own personal focus time? Maybe it's your prayer life. What are your non-negotiables? Boundaries mean nothing if you don't know what you're protecting. So I want you to choose 1 or 2 non-negotiables and protect them like gold. We're not doing 10 non-negotiables today. We're choosing 1 or 2. You can choose 1 or 2. For example, I personally declare dinner time sacred. That means phones away, my laptop is shut. And that one decision shifted not just my kids' respect for me, but it also changed my respect for myself. Again, we're going to grab our journals, right? If you don't decide your non-negotiables, someone else will decide them for you. And they are always going to choose their own priorities, not yours. So I want you to journal your 1 to 2 non-negotiables that you are going to clearly focus on this week, and you are going to put those in practice. Now, I also want to help you communicate your boundaries with confidence. Okay, you need to be able to speak your boundaries out loud, but instead of saying, I need you to do, you need to take power in this. You need to say these confidently. And if it means going into your bathroom, closing the door, looking at yourself in your mirror, checking out your reflection, seeing how you're standing. Are you standing upright? Are you standing firm? And saying your boundaries out loud, you need to do that. Whatever it takes to build your confidence, get it done. And why do you have to say these confidently? Why do you have to show up confidently when you're speaking your boundaries? Because, honey, people are not mind readers. Although we would love it if they, I don't know. I take that back. We would not love if people were mind readers. However, sometimes we assume that people know what we're talking about before we even say anything at all, right? So how are we going to do this? You are going to use simple, confident statements. We are done over explaining ourselves, ladies. You are going to say, I am not available after 6 p.m., but I will follow up tomorrow. Say that out loud 3 times. The first time I said this in a meeting, I braced myself, literally held on to my seat for criticism. Instead, people respected it. They didn't push back. They simply adjusted. Now, I was not confident when I said it. I was getting confident. But that's when I realized people don't respect what you don't clearly communicate, okay? Boundaries are not about being liked. Boundaries are about being respected. So which one matters most to you? Being liked or being respected? Now, you're probably going to need some journaling time for this one because a lot of us are high-achieving women, and we got to this place because we've been liked. We've been the one who's done all of the things. We are the go-to person at home and at work. But I'm telling you this, being respected is way better than being liked. Tip number 4 today is hold your line like it is gold and you are not letting anyone take it from you, even when it's uncomfortable. So boundaries never work if you cave in, plain and simple. If you show up confidently, you set those boundaries, and then you turn around and you cave, all that work leading up to that has gone out the window. People are going to test these boundaries. People are going to constantly push and prod and poke. Seeing how far you will go to hold on to your boundaries, seeing how far you're able to get pushed until you finally just cave in and go back to doing exactly what they want you to do. Now, expect that pushback. Go into setting boundaries being expectant of pushback, but you need to stay consistent. For example, the first time I left a late running call to go to my son's basketball game, my stomach was knotted with guilt. My entire body felt it. But the second time, that guilt turned into freedom. I got off the call and I got to my son's basketball game on time. I was completely free. And every time I held that line, I'm sorry, but my schedule was blocked out for a reason and I took off, my voice got stronger. Now, realize that this isn't going to come comfortably to you. There is going to be a lot of discomfort in this process, but discomfort now equals respect later. I'm going to repeat that for you so that it really truly sinks in. Discomfort now means respect later. So, are you willing to walk through a little temporary discomfort right now to create lasting peace? And in doing so, you're going to be healing your relationships within your family as well. Realize that they are watching. They are looking at you. They are observing you. They are trying to see what your priorities are. Who is most important in your life? Is it work that's going to replace you in a heartbeat, or is it your family? Now you need to think about that. Tip number 5 is building respect through being consistent, okay? Respect only grows when you repeat the boundary. Now, if you are awesome, you're a rock star, you're holding boundaries, you're setting boundaries, you're holding that line, and then you flop, you're going to have to rebuild this respect, okay? This inconsistency is actually breeding confusion, and people really don't know where to stand with you. Like, are you going to hold the boundary this time, or are you going to flop? And they're going to continuously push to see which direction you go. So you say it, you stick to it, you repeat it. You say it, you stick to it, you repeat it. This is a never-ending cycle. You say your boundary, you stick to your boundary, and you repeat it. So at first, right, my family rolled their eyes at me. They do this quite a lot when I reminded them of our no phones at dinner rule. But after I stayed consistent, meaning that I didn't even have my phone at the dinner table, it became our new normal. And they started protecting it too. Even on occasion, I might flop and have my phone in my pocket, and they're like, "Hey, Mom," and now it's that protected time. We sit down and we have dinner as a family every single night together, unless one of us is out of town or something comes up. But that is protected time for us. That is my non-negotiable on a daily basis, is dinner with my family, undisturbed, uninterrupted. And this is our new normal. We sit there, we talk about the day. Maybe we just crack jokes at each other. Maybe there's nothing deep, but sometimes there are those deep conversations that need to be had too, right? And we know that we have each other's full attention at the dinner table to support, to encourage each other, to lift each other up, to just love on each other. And that, my friend, that is worth protecting, because my life does depend on that time with my family. So every time you hold your boundary, you're teaching people how to treat you. Every time you break that boundary, you're teaching them the opposite. Tip number 6, I need you to really understand that boundaries do build trust. So healthy boundaries are never going to push people away. They are actually going to strengthen your relationships. When people know where you stand, they actually start to trust you even more deeply. They just get it. Boundaries equals clarity, and clarity, my friend, equals trust. So in my former position, my team at work began respecting my boundaries so much that they actually in turn started setting their own. My boundary gave them permission to do the same. So think about it this way. What if your boundary isn't selfish, but it's actually giving the gift that teaches others that they're allowed to protect themselves too? Imagine how healthy your workplace now becomes because everyone is setting boundaries, everyone is sticking to those boundaries, and in turn, everyone is respecting each other's boundaries and each other even more. Now, tip number 7, this is very, very important. You need to give yourself permission to rest without guilt. This is very difficult, especially as a high-achieving mama, because we always have things on our plates. We always have things to fill our schedules. But we're never penciling rest time for ourselves. And I know you've heard it before, and I'm going to say it again. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Rest is a boundary too. And without it, you're always going to be operating from depletion. You need to protect your downtime unapologetically. For years, I would stay up late catching up on work after putting my kiddos to bed, right? Now I close my laptop and I actually give myself permission to rest. And guess what? The work is still there tomorrow. It has not gone away. But I wake up with a sense of energy and clarity instead of that constant resentment. So, when was the last time that you actually rested without guilt? If you can't remember, that's your sign. Now, I want to end this with a little prayer for you so that you can go about your day understanding that boundaries are essential. Boundaries mean respect, okay? Lord, I lift up every mama listening right now. She is tired of being overlooked. She is tired of feeling invisible. She's tired of giving until she has nothing left to give. I ask that you remind her of her worth, that she is fearfully and wonderfully made, and her voice matters. Give her the courage to set boundaries she needs, the strength to hold on to those boundaries, and the peace that comes when she finally chooses herself. Let her know she is seen. Let her know that she is heard and that she is deeply loved. Amen. Mama, listen to me. Boundaries are not walls. Boundaries are doors. And you get to decide who and what comes through those doors. Boundaries are not selfish. They are the foundation of respect. They are how you teach your family, your workplace, and even yourself that your time and your energy are valuable. So start with one boundary this week, just one. Hold it, protect it, and watch how everything around you begins to shift when you start valuing yourself. And don't forget, go grab the Clarity Core app in your app store. It's your free tool to help you reset, recharge, and live with the respect that you deserve. Thank you so much for listening to Midlife Mom Reset. If today's episode hit home, don't just keep pushing through. Instead of scrolling social media for answers, head to the Clarity Core app. It's totally free, packed with tools to help you find peace in the chaos of midlife, and it's where I can support you even deeper. Remember, motherhood and midlife were never meant to be survival mode. Peace in, burnout out. I'll see you next time.